Backtesting isn't just for beginners, it's how pro traders fine-tune what's working. In this webinar, a coach walks through real futures setups, covering market structure continuation, balance theory, and session-to-session trend bias, so you always know where to trade.
So let's talk about the different trade types, right? You should all be familiar with this, but I'm just kind of giving you that kind of summation here. There's a supply and demand trade. You identify a fresh demand zone or a supply zone, right? Trend is up. You're waiting for price to come down. There's a strong high that's formed before it touches demand, reacts. Of course, you want to see a good strong reaction to that. That breaks that high, that strong high, using your 50% retrace. And then you would get in on the retrace, right, to go long. Same thing for supply, right, except for it's the opposite direction. So that's your supply demand. Market structure is basically a continuation from that. So as you know, sometimes as you notice, when either a demand zone will get swept or there will be some kind of a breakout that just doesn't give you that retrace you're looking for. Well, even when you miss those on the supply demand side, you can often get what's called a market structure continuation trade. And there's basically two types of this, right? One is where price has been in some kind of consolidation pattern, right? Usually there's a liquidity sweep that goes below that consolidation area before it then breaks out, right? And breaks all those highs in that consolidation area to give you your first high. Of course, now normally you don't want to trade that first reaction. So you got somebody I need. So you wait for that first high to be made. Then there's a 50% retrace, right? Then that high is broken, and then you get in on that retrace for a continuation trade. So you just you're following those strong highs and lows on the way up. This is an example from a supply demand bounce trade. Maybe it taps the zone, but you miss that first entry opportunity, but you're catching that market structure as it continues to move up, right? And also that would include a liquidity sweep, right? A lot of times in futures, you get liquidity sweeps where that zone is still valid in terms of potentially being tradable. It's just that it got swept, part of the market action of the day. So what you want to do is you want to continue to watch it and see if you get some clean.
There's a trading strategy most people have never heard of, and it's quietly making traders profitable every single week. The Vault is our free trading community where you'll learn the triple line method, a strategy that's helped thousands of traders finally become consistently profitable. Inside the Vault, you will get structured trading courses from the basics all the way to funded accounts and our 3-phase system, plus live trading sessions every single week. Real trades, real setups, real traders, all in real time. To get access, all you have to do is comment Vault below and we'll send it to you for free. That's it. There's no catch. I don't need your credit card. Just comment the Vault and let's get you inside.
Emphasize the word clean. Clean market structure continuation where you get a clear high, a 50% retrace low, right? That then breaks that strong high. Then you look to get in on this retrace. Use that for an opportunity trade. Personally, I like to really see some strong parallel bands with consolidation because I've been faked out before where I thought I was in a balanced situation and ended up kind of doing something different. And one of the strong signs I've noticed is you get this kind of very regular consolidation zones on the top end and bottom end of that consolidation area. Of course, you also get these equal highs, equal lows. So it usually starts, you won't know you're in a balanced situation until this third point is reached, right? You'll have a high that's formed, price will come down, form a low, and then it forms an equal high, or roughly equal high. Sometimes this high will sweep the prior high, which is okay, as long as you see price revert right back down to that balance zone. Then you look for an entry opportunity off the retrace to follow it to the bottom of that consolidation area. So those are the three trades we're going to talk about as we get into this. So let's talk a little bit about higher time frame bias. I think it's important to know trend really behaves a little differently in futures compared to stock options. Stocks tend to form a range based on episodic events like earnings, right? There's an earnings report and there's a reaction to that. And then price works its way up, creates a high. Once that high is discovered, right, then it usually will work its way back down toward either the 50% retrace from the earnings report or maybe a little lower, but it tends to have a typical pattern that it follows. Futures are a little different. Futures are constantly, I don't know if you heard us use this term, discovering price, right? All tradable instruments are discovering price. I would say Futures is on the very, very, very front end of it. So what I mean by that is they're always repricing new things. So if there's something about tariffs or some kind of earnings report, major economic news, the futures are going to be pricing it right then and there in that situation. So the reason I emphasize that is you really need to be focusing on what's the session progression. I'm going to give you some examples of this in a minute. And from the Asian to the London to New York, I find that to be a more reliable, higher time frame context for trading than thinking about, okay, I'm going to go out 3 months. Are we in an uptrend pattern or a downtrend pattern? I find to be more reliable is actually looking at the actual session trend, because that sets your trend usually for the New York Stock Exchange. So just a reminder, kind of lessons learned, when you have indices are in a clear trend, right? And just play the New York as a continuation of that trend. If you got a clear trend from the Asian to London going up, play it long. Whereas if you're in balance, right, and there's no clear direction, it's kind of within some kind of major move prior to that, where it's kind of range bound, tend to lean on your shorts when you're in the upper range of that balance, and your longs when you're in the lower end. So this I talked a little bit with Hector about too, kind of compare notes with him. And one thing he said for sure is let the price action of that session tell you what you need to do. So again, paying attention to that first 30 minutes from that 9:30 to 10 o'clock is really important. So let's go to supply and demand. So supply and demand, as we know, was more of a challenge. I do want to talk a little bit about some trades that did work, but also talk a little bit about why, it just was tough. So one thing to note with supply and demand is you got to have a clean bounce, right? And sometimes those bounces were right at the market open, so they really weren't tradable per se at that time. Again, went way too deep into the supply zone, right? No clean break structure, so no trade there. This one is a little tricky. I did want to emphasize here where you did get a good break of structure, but notice you never got to finish. You got the strong high here, a drop, another strong high here, and price came in nice reaction to the zone, formed a high, drop, formed a second high that broke that stronger high, right? So that becomes your break of structure right here, and you got the opportunity. But notice you started getting this extended consolidation. So this is at 4 o'clock p.m. That's the other thing I would note. Once you start getting extended consolidation like that, I would look to get out at the top of that, simply because that's a sign that it could have done this, right? It could have dropped on you. So you're more at risk the longer it stays in consolidation after you get into an entry like that. But also emphasize about, again, setting a good stop. If I didn't have a good stop, I would have been stopped out right here and missed out on the win. So in fact, again, setting that good stop, that base is really important for supply demand trade. Kind of same thing here. I mean, we had this huge bullish run on gold, right? This is going back to October 2nd. And you just never got any touches of these demand zones. I mean, it just kept ripping. You did have one supply demand bounce here. You see this demand zone here is a fresh one. Got a nice tap of it. Got a nice, I love the reaction. See that reaction came in, nice reaction. That's what you want to see. Now, you never really got a strong high to break. Notice this, see from this high here to this low here, 50% retrace would be up to here. That's 50%. So you did get a high. You did get a strong high. As you can see, even with this move, it never really fully broke that high, right? This is where I lean into what I call support and resistance. So when you got this sequence, you can see here kind of come down with this drop, and then 15-minute, you see a pretty strong move up, taking out this resistance. Again, that, or you would look at 2 consecutive higher highs as a way to confirm, right, on the lower time frame. So you have one high here, a low, another higher high, right, that broke this high. That could also be considered a break of structure, right, for a trade. Not the best setup, but it's, doable for sure. I'm going to go into our next trade type. So I'm going to highlight some market structure trades as well as balance theory trades. That seem to be definitely more the winning trades. So let's go into that. So again, with supply demand, you align your trade with the session trend, stick to those entry rules. That's the main thing. Don't cheat on your stops, right? Because you can saw several examples where you'd have been stopped out and missed out on a profit target if you set your stop too low. Okay, let's go into balance. So balance, as you remember, when I talked about balance, balance is when you see basically a pattern set. I look for 2 things. I look for equal highs relatively. You can have stop hunts of highs, but they're generally in the same range. But I also like to see what I call these bands of consolidation. So it shows that price is spending some time in the zone. If it's shooting through it, I don't like that as much. I really want to see it kind of work its way through up and down. That shows you that that zone is holding. But a couple of important things to note, right? You sort of had this move up pre-market was a high, but then see this kind of regular pattern of lows and highs. I mean, this low did get swept, but notice how it kind of returned back through. Notice how it generally progresses through the zone each time it comes back. That's the other thing you want to see. Clear sign is it progressing through the zone. And probably, I would say, one of the better ways to trade this is actually when you get a stop hunt of a prior high. So you see like all these highs here. Notice this trade here, actually this stop hunted those, right? And then you see this actually even better here. This one stop hunted these highs here. When you get that, that gives you a strong low or a strong high, right, to anchor your trade to. But you just want to wait for price to come outside, work its way back in. You can either, there's two ways to trade it. You can either just get in once it drops through. I would say probably a safer way to do it is wait for it to come back in, but then get it on a retrace, right? So you get a strong risk reward. So, like in this case, it came out, came in, get ready for that retrace. Look for a 1.5 or higher. This is the 2.08. And as you can see, what we do is you want to target, I wouldn't target the very tops of these highs, but target somewhere right in the vicinity of the outside edge of that balance. But you see there's like 5 opportunities there. Ivan also posted one. So this is a gold balance theory trade he did, and something to be aware of, even if it comes outside of balance for a while, if it comes back in and shows that this balance zone is working again, you can still trade it. That's kind of what he did here. Is, once he saw that there's a pretty strong balance area earlier in the day, when price came back in and showed that it was accepting back in it, he traded. So that's something, another way you can look at trading this particular type of zone. I do want to talk about some things to be careful about. One thing you'll be careful if the balance zone gets too small. This is about as tight as I'd want it to be. When it gets super small, like a small pause and was really a trend move like this stuff, I would not trade that, right? This is just a small pause in the downward trend, right? So you just want to be careful. You really want to get a chance to see this. This is actually too small, in my opinion. Even though you technically you can see you got some balance theory. That's on a 1 minute time frame. That's getting very tight. But I think you see the difference, right? You really want to see some range. So this is gold here. You kind of see how organized it is. I mean, it's following a clean pattern, right? It's not doing this. It's not doing this in one candle move and that, right? You don't want to see something where just is a rapid movements through the zone. Like this is getting pretty fast here. You really want to see this because that shows that it's staying within balance. The simple rule of thumb is once you start seeing this pattern, you use Pro to help define balance here. Yes, you can. Let's say we're here, right? And I'm saying, okay, I need to define this zone a little better. Let's see if it'll let me do it while I'm in. It may not let me do it while I'm in. I may have to do. So if I do fixed range, I'm gonna say here, there. See how that bulge? I mean, it matched it perfectly, right? Look at that. So yes, you could use that. Now, what I really like to see is something like this, where there's a bulge there, then a bulge here. Then I know I've got a really solid balance zone. But this also is good. So yes, Ben, good question. So you can definitely use that to kind of confirm where that is. But what you want to do is once you see, I basically have a 3-point rule. So technically, actually, you could say, so let's say you got here, you say, I think I might be in balance. But you say, this is point 1, this is point 2, this is point 3. Once I know point 3 is an equal high. Now you may want to say, well, I want one more confirmation from this point 3. I want to see it come all the way down through and then play it back up. You could certainly do that if you want to be more conservative. But essentially, once you get to this point here, right, where you got equal highs, you say, okay, yep, I got an equal high here. You look at what your low is. Is it within the range of the balance? Like this is just what I call like a stop hunt. It's not like way down here. It'd be different if it was way down here. But I would say I wouldn't want to get any lower than that, but that's definitely okay. And you can see how it kind of stayed back in, right? So basically, it's like a 3-point rule. Okay, when you say align with session trend, are you referring to the previous or the first hour of the current session? I am talking about, so I'll say starting off with how do the Asian, London, Asian and London sessions line up? Does the London, this is the key thing, does the London session respect the high of the Asian but break the low, right? If it does something like that, I'm leaning toward shorts, the New York session. The opposite is if the situation, if you got, yeah, if you got London and it respects the Asian low, breaks the Asian high, then you generally playing the bias long. So let's go to markets. Anything else I will say here? Yeah. So again, some don'ts. You can see I noted here, you definitely don't want to be looking to trade balance during the first 30 minutes, right? Because that's very volatile. Balance is kind of like, think of it as the market in a holding. Well, it's not going to be in a holding pattern in the first 30 minutes, or like say from like 8:30 to 10 o'clock. I would not be looking to take a balance trade at that time. But the London session, let's say from like 5 to 8, yeah, if it's there, I'll take it. Or after the market is gone for a little bit, let's say from 11 to particularly in the afternoon, it settles into a balance pattern, then yeah. The other thing you want to do is you also want to be careful about like if you get this major swing up, right? If you just had this violent move up, I would be careful about trading balance right after that because it's probably just a temporary pause before it actually probably bolts up to the downside. This is why it pays to watch several indices because all the indices will be different. Like even today, like y'all noticed, really there were no trading opportunities for the YN, which is the Dow Jones, or the RTY, which is the Russell 2000. MES almost got us some trades, but it's a clear structure today was MNQ. But there have been situations where, YM or Dow Jones will be the one that has a better market structure. So it pays, you always want to be kind of watching all the indices and see what gives you the best trade. So this just kind of gives you an idea of, on a higher time frame, where you had this low, right? You had basically a breakout consolidation, a 50% retrace, a break. Now, you never got the retrace until actually here, right? But you can see where I use this as my stop, got the one here, then got another break of structure, came in. This is actually a combination of a supply demand balance as well as market structure, kind of came in, up, drop. I would say best to trade market structure when you get a reaction to a zone. This is a little bit, I would say a little bit far into the game. So I would rather, probably the better way to trade this is once you get a tap of a demand zone like this, then you start looking. So as you can see here, you can see the steady progression, high, 50% retrace low, break of structure, 50% trace low, another break of structure, 50% retrace. None of these were trades here because the retrace wasn't significant enough to get into a 60%. Didn't get that until here. Now this is a little tougher one in that you actually got a sweep of this low here, and then it moved up. This would have been a little bit more riskier trade to make. You can see how, again, it's a very reliable, and notice, here's the most important thing to note. Again, trend is what? How many sweeps of strong lows do we have? One. This one right here. That was the only one. Or sorry, this one right here. This is the only one that got swept and barely right by this low here. So it's just, to me, it's another. Once you have a strong trending indice and you're trading with the trend, this could be a very profitable trading pattern. So one thing, I guess the last thing I just wanted to share with you guys, you can see, just look at how much information we learned, right? Now, I did spend probably about 2 or 3 hours doing this, but just imagine if you just spent an hour every month. It doesn't have to be every week, hour every month. So you know what? I'm going to go back and look at stuff over the past, 30 days. Look at because the thing I found with is when you're in the middle of the action, right, and the trading, you're just react, right? You're looking, and it's harder to engage your rational brain when you're in a live trading environment. What this does is it kind of anchors you and reminds you, okay, this is what I'm looking for. This is my playbook. So it's a kind of a way of kind of really drilling down into your subconscious. This is what I want to see. So I really encourage you to do this at least once a month, even if you only do it for like an hour. I would commit to an hour once a month. Do it because it will really, I'm telling you, it will change you in terms of how you start seeing things, right? Because think of how much stuff you've already exposed your eye to looking at this. I know some of this was really fast. I went through a lot of stuff pretty quick, but you doing this yourself, now again, clearly you don't have to do all this annotation like I did. You can just do some very basic things, but it will help you see the market more clearly.